Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm John Lazarus with Stories Matter and D&E Publishing. We're going to do something a little different with today's installment in our how-to series. If you've been following so far, you most likely were inspired to write your own book. Many of you created an outline and even started a rough draft. With all my excellent advice at this point, some of you may even feel this writing thing's not such a big deal. However, you need to understand that writing's not all clowns and snow cones. No matter how talented or hardworking you are, you will reach a point where you'll wonder if you're actually as hopeless as your therapist said you are. There is hope, though. In today's video, we'll look at some tips to help us dig ourselves out of these holes. But first, a word from our sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by the Wagner Group. This committed multinational consulting firm offers logistical support, recruitment strategies, and on-site training in a wide range of venues across the globe. From cobalt mines in Africa to oil refineries in Syria, the Wagner Group dispatches teams of experts willing to tackle challenges and facilitate mandates other firms won't. Wagner Group. Local problems, global solutions. To all you writers out there, this scenario might sound familiar. Sticking to the schedule you set for yourself, you sit down in front of the computer ready to write. But suddenly your mind goes blank. You begin to worry, hoping it will pass, but you just can't seem to put any words on the page. You start to get anxious. Well, to ease the anxiety, you procrastinate, watching some funny videos on YouTube. When that doesn't work, you try a wank session, starting off slow with some softcore stuff, and then getting progressively harder. Asians to Brazilian Germans, to some really depraved underground Albanian gangbang bondage stuff you can't believe you haven't discovered before. And then right as you reach the edge, the battery on your Bluetooth headphone says it needs to charge, but you're sure you can work this one out before the battery dies. I mean, you only have another minute or so, and the sound's not on that loud anyway, except the camera moves to the one girl who's not really doing it for you, and I don't know why. I mean, her body's great, but the bangs are so distracting. But you push ahead, and then you hear someone knocking at the door right as you get to the edge, so then you quick squeeze it out, but you're wondering if you lock the door, and maybe they'll just go away if you're quiet enough, and while you're cleaning yourself off, the Bluetooth goes out, and now you have to decide if you're going to clean up first or turn the sound off. And when your boss walks in, she's already heard everything and asks you to clean out your desk. Anyway, if that's ever happened to you, there's no need to worry. Today we'll look at some steps to motivate yourself and prevent writer's block. Step 1. Enhance your workspace. Make your writing space a place you want to be, but also one with limited distractions. Decorate it with pleasant flowers or motivational pictures. I personally use photos of anonymous corpses to remind myself that I don't want to die before I become famous. Remove other personal attachments. If you have children, make sure you spend as little time around them as possible. If your friends invite you somewhere, tell them you can't leave home because of painful anal polyps. Also consider temperature as well. Keeping your writing room at a crisp 58 degrees Fahrenheit will ensure you keep those fingers moving to stay warm. Step 2. Make sure you have internet access. Nothing increases productivity like the internet. Why do you think they have it in all the offices now? Some writers might not agree, but I have to write with the internet. Sometimes a block can be caused by a lack of information. When I go out on a limb as a writer and try to use a character that's a woman, and I want to know how long a period lasts, I have to Google that. There's really no other option. The internet can be used to play soothing music to relieve your anxiety about your writing as well. Or you can do what I do and use the internet to play a motivational YouTube video that's just a man screaming "write" on repeat for 10 hours. Step 3. Get into a creative mindset after work. Now, I have trouble relating to this one, seeing as how writing is my job, and I certainly don't need to be a laborer to get by in life. But if you haven't made it yet, you might find it's hard to switch from screwing caps on milk cartons, to writing a book. Still, there are some simple ways to get yourself in the creative mindset before you start writing. A 10-minute meditation, for example. Writing a hypothetical threatening letter to your least favorite celebrity. Walking around on all fours inside your house and pretending you're a dog. Step 4. Set a ticking clock. Give yourself reasonable deadlines. If you're too lax, you'll never get anything done. And if you're too rushed, your writing might come out like this. Therefore, you need to set appropriate timelines. For me, I try to finish 4,000-word short fiction in about 2 weeks. But if you're writing the 6th book in a long-running fantasy series, you want to make sure you don't spend more than 15 years on it. And if you want to make sure you're meeting your deadlines, maybe you need to... Step 5. Find an accountability buddy. If you want someone else to make sure you're meeting your deadlines, you should consider having an accountability buddy. Here, your basic options are stick or carrot. I've used both, and they both work well, but in different ways. For the carrot, have someone provide you with sexual favors for each deadline met. Just to give an example, let's say you get your toes sucked on once you finish polishing the final version of that opening hook. Now, if you don't have a sexual partner, that's okay. There are more than enough people on Craigslist or internationalescorts.com who will provide this service for a nominal fee. Then you have the stick. With this option, you hire someone to punish you for failing to meet a deadline. Craigslist escorts may work for this option too, but I found having my balls whipped with an extension cord to be more pleasurable than painful. So instead, I've been using the work release program at my local prison to find men to provide fast, effective service. If I fail to meet a weekly word count, for example, Sal will come to my home and dislocate several of my fingers. Well, that's all for today. I hope this video got you out of your funk and ready to write. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll leave you with this week's author quote of the week. See you on the next one.